Hello, welcome to Thursday Night Reading Sprints. Sorry I'm late. I think I put in the comments that the computer was just not playing ball at all. But now it is. It's done an update, so we're here. StreamYard is working, and I'm looking forward to an evening of getting some work done because I've got so much to do. So let me know in the comments what you are planning to get up to. I'm really rubbish with reading this month. I think I've read about 2 books because I've been really busy editing. I am reading through. This is the manuscript. This is well 2/3 of it. Kev printed a chunk of it for me because the end isn't quite ready. So I'm going to be reading through my manuscript before I send it to my editor on Tuesday. Yeah, so I'm quite excited about it. It's really coming together nicely, but it's one of those things where I don't know if there's many writers in the chat, but as I'm reading it, I'm thinking, have I overdone this now? She said to work on this thing, but have I ground it into the earth so that it's really obvious now? Do I need to just rein myself in a little bit? So it'll be interesting to see what my editor thinks. So yeah, I think mainly that is what I'm going to be doing. Ideally, I could do doing a little bit of writing on something else as well tonight, but I do just need to get these pages read, so we'll see. So for anybody who's not been here before, I tend to do 2 40-minute sprints and a 30-minute sprint because we've started a little late. I don't quite know how that's going to work out, so we'll see. Maybe they'll do 2 40-minute ones, and then we'll say it is quitting time. So let's pop to the comments and then we'll jump on a sprint. I should mention as well, my friend Kirsty is going to be joining us, who runs the Vampire Book Club on Instagram under Kirsty. Yes, if you want to look her up. She just has a work thing, so she's going to be here when she finishes work. So let's jump to the comments. So this was Kev's helpful comment. I think the first one, computer doing its thing. Hello, I'm so excited about that book, Sharon. I'm so glad you're loving it. It's on my TBR for next month. I'm having a real adult horror vibe where I'm just wanting to read adult horror books at the minute. I've got Mayfly, although I ordered it from Amazon and then realised that Forbidden Planet I got it on sale, signed, so I admit I did send it back to Amazon and order the signed copy, so I'm hoping that my signed one is zipping on its way. So I can read that next month, so I'm going to have a real adult horror binge, I think. I've still not read that Christina Henry book that I know you've read, Sharon. So I do seriously need to read some adult horror. I'm probably going to be pretty busy editing realistically till October. So I think the reading's not going to be looking too good till then. Hello, hello. Hi, Nadeem. Oh, as in the Cassandra Clare series. It is so long since I've read those. I've been thinking I really need to reread them, and I think I had the audiobooks back in the day, but I feel like it might have been so long ago that they were the CDs, so I probably need to get them on audiobooks. I did enjoy the audios. Oh, I have not heard of that, Nadeem. Is it good? Is it a thriller? It sounds like it might be a thriller about a marriage that actually isn't perfect. Hooray, hooray! I loved it. I really have got into Simone St. James's books. I read the Book of Cold Cases. I probably enjoyed Murder Road even more than the Book of Cold Cases. And I went and bought a couple of others too that I've not got to. But there's something about female horror authors at the moment I'm just really vibing with, particularly adult horror. Oh, hi, Stephen. It's nice to see you in the comments. Honestly, Sharon, I'm so relieved. This book I've wanted to write since before the first Mina book. I think I had the idea for this and had no idea how to execute it. And then this is going to be the one that comes out next year. And I'm just really excited, but I'm also nervous because it's the first non-Mina thing for a while that I've worked on. There's a little tidbit for you. I don't know whether I've said that publicly or not. But I can't talk. I have very clearly said I won't talk about what this book is until it's announced. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm hoping that the edits from here should be a little bit easier. These are the structural edits, like the big picture stuff. Nothing massive because I had already edited it pretty heavily myself, but an editor always has stuff that they want you to do regardless of how well you've edited it. So yeah, I'm just checking that my edits do make sense, and I've got 2 more scenes that I need to finish redrafting, like re-editing. So I'll probably jump on the laptop later if I can get this reading done. So Kirsty will probably pop up during this sprint. I'm just going to pop Kitty on, and then I'll see you all in 40 minutes. Have fun. Hello, everyone. Hi, Kirsty.
Hello.
Oh, sorry, I think I just muted you at the same time as you're muted yourself.
Yeah.
How's it
Yes.
going?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I've just set up a spreadsheet, so that's exciting.
Oh, was that a writing related spreadsheet, not a work one?
Yes. No, writing related spreadsheet. So I've got August off work, luckily, to
Yay.
edit my book. So I am doing like a book map to kind of track what I need to do in edits. So yeah, that's fun.
I love doing that. I used to find Excel really annoying and not understand it, and now I use it to track my word count. I use it to kind of motivate myself when I'm editing, and then I do the same thing. I write a chapter outline, and then I write a kind of this is all the stuff that needs to happen to these chapters.
Yeah, I've got to do a bit of what's the villain doing off page
Yeah, it
work.
just like plotting and going, hey, hey, hey.
Hi, Caroline. Yeah, it has been a little while. It's not ages, has it? But it's been a little while since
I
I've been
just
on.
don't know. Time goes too fast. Like this
It
year,
does.
it's just been a real blur. And I do sometimes have to stop and go, no, actually, I haven't done nothing this year. I've done this, this, and this. I don't know why it's nearly August. And I'm like,
I
we're
know.
way over halfway through the year. This is just wild. Like,
It is
but
scary how time goes.
yeah. So what are you working towards? Is there a particular deadline with your book, or like, do you need to
Um,
go back to your beta? Is this the Gold's Egg one?
yes. Yes, so I had my editor read it, and I got some nice feedback and yeah, some comments on things to kind of do to tighten it up.
Good.
And I guess for me that the the deadline is the end of August, just in terms of that then work will kick back in and it will get hard to kind of fit anything in. So I would love to kind of just really focus and knuckle down.
It's really hard. When I
So,
wrote the first Mina book, I was working full time, and I was literally getting home at about, because I used to do 8 till 4, so I was getting home at 4:30 every day and just picking up the laptop and writing, and it felt like a miserable slog. And you don't want writing to feel like a miserable slog because it's meant to be
no.
your like joy in the thing you're doing because you love it.
Yeah.
I had like a slog period at the beginning of the year, but I'm back to loving it again. I had a few months of it feeling really hard just because I was having to work every night again, and I'm getting fed up of doing that. Like, it doesn't. I think I'm getting too old for that. You know, like, what does Danny Glover say? I'm too old for this shit. I really am.
Yeah, too
I'm
old
not.
and too tired.
I'm not in my 20s anymore, and I've got a 4-year-old. So getting to 9 o'clock and thinking, oh, I still need to work. It is
Yeah.
not great. But I'm hoping from September. I've got 4 writing days a week from September. So,
Nice.
and I mean, I'm doing some freelance writing, so it's not all my writing, but it's a massive change. So I just keep
Yeah.
thinking I won't be writing like this forever. And that's the same as you. Like, it's kind of means to an end at the minute, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
you've just got to keep getting to the next stage in publishing, haven't you? Like, for me, it's like,
Yeah.
get this book edited and get another book deal, and then yours is like, get your agent and then
Yeah.
your first book deal.
Yeah. Definitely. But I feel kind of the closest I've felt. So it's just really nice to have had somebody external read, because obviously I've had friends
Yeah.
read books and stuff like that. And I actually haven't shared this with other people. So it's just the golden egg crew. So it was a little bit like, oh, I don't know whether it's actually any good or not, but yeah, hopefully it will be all right.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? How certain projects end up having lots of eyes on them, like the Mina books. I think by the third one, hardly anybody had read it. Like Kev, in fact, Mia hadn't even read it because she was on deadline. I think she'd read bits of it for me. Normally she reads like my whole book for me.
Yeah.
Um, so I think like Kev, my agent, and my editor had read it, and that was it. So I was really scared. I was like, 3 people have said this is good. What if it's not, and they're all lying?
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
the thing, isn't it? You always believe the one negative comment rather than all the positive comments you might get. So
yeah, and my agent is quite direct, so she is very much like, she won't hold my hand. Like Mia will really hold my hand through edits and be like, these are all the wonderful things. Maybe here's just a tiny edit. Whereas my agent will be like, yeah, it's amazing, but here's all the critique that you need. So, like, she doesn't really kind of front load with praise,
Here's
which
everything that needs to go.
yeah, I think she kind of feels like, well, you've got past that point, like you're published now, so I don't need you to. You're like, you can do this. I'm like, but do I? Do I really?
Do I? just give me a coffee and some cake.
Honestly,
A big
and I see
hug.
this all the time. People on TikTok and people on their social media, like, just saying, when does it get easier? Like, I'm waiting for it to get easier. Like, I think it was Louise Dell said something about that online the other day, and she was like, how many books am I in? And like, I'm still remembering, like, each time you write, it feels like you're remembering how to do it. I think it was, or it might have been somebody else, but anyway.
Yeah, Holly Bourne as well, I think, said recently about, I'm at this stage of the project where I think it's awful, I can't write and all this. So it's, it's nice to see that from other people, because it means, that hopefully that helps with the imposter syndrome a little bit. But
yeah, I don't think I ever think I'm terrible, because I do know that I've got to the point now where I think I've worked hard enough on my craft that I'm quite proud of it. But I do get to bits where I get a bit lost. Like last week, I'd got this list of edits that I still need to do, and I was like, I'm just really lost. Like, this book is so big and I'm so small. Like, how am I going to do it? And yeah, I've done it, and it's by and large edited now. I'm just reading it and checking it makes sense. In some places it doesn't. I've written the same thing twice, one paragraph after another, because I've had an edit and not realised it was already there. And stuff like that. So I'm going to say that to my editor. I may have made this worse in places, but overall it's better.
Do you know what? That is my fear with edits, is that you take something out that was really giving it something.
Yeah,
said
that to me before, like, I really liked the way you worded this. Where's it gone? And I'm like, oh God, I just deleted it forever. And normally I can go back and find it, but
yeah, well, I use Scrivener, so you can do sort of snapshots, can't you, and sort of keep your past history. I don't know how easy it is to then get back to them, but they're there.
On Word, but I save so many versions that it's literally every few days I should do it every day really, but I've got a new dated version at least every few days, and I email it to myself regularly. So, but it's laborious, and you end up working on the wrong version if you're not careful. I do that all the time. I open up what I think is the current version, and it's last week's edited, and go, oh God.
And you're like, where's that bit that I wrote last week? It's not there. Lovely to see you two chat. Well, I'm not that I can see you, but see you in the chat.
Go to the comments and see all these nice comments. Yeah. I have not read enough Holly Black. The last Holly Black book I read was The Coldest Girl in Cold Town, so I'm really behind.
I love The Coldest Girl in Cold Town.
It's really good.
It was the first. I think it was the. No, actually, was it the first book or the second book of hers I read? It might have been The Darkest Part of the Forest. Might have been the first one.
See, I haven't read that.
Coldest Girl was good.
I read some that were about like curse workers or something, like White Cat.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't read those ones, but I think they were some of her early ones, weren't they?
Yeah, I don't tend to read fairy ones. I'm not a huge fairy fan, unless they're really deadly, like it will eat your face sort of fairies. I don't know why. I'm not really into fairies. Like, they always seem a bit too much like vampires. I'm like, can't they just be vampires? Because you can take all the good stuff. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll find a fairy book that I absolutely love, but rarely.
I actually really enjoy the Cruel Prince series. I do think they are quite good, but it is very much romantasy, as we would now call it. So but good banter.
I mean, maybe I need to try those because I do like banter, but I do tend to see fairies and go, whereas I probably am just being closed-minded. Poor fairies are just getting a bad rep from me. I just think that every creature is inferior to vampires. Like,
wow, that is true.
I want everything to be vampires. Oh, thanks, Kirsty. I'm just late picking it up. I know. It is. It's lovely to have you here and to chat and to catch up. Are you going to Yalk this year?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, I am. Yeah. I believe I've bought my ticket anyway. I'm fairly sure I have, although I haven't booked accommodation yet, so I really need to get on that. I'm quite good
at buying a ticket and then getting invited to be there and then realising that I get a free ticket. I think I've done that the last 2 years. I've ended up like paying when I shouldn't have done. So this year I was like, I'll just hold off and see if they invite me, and they did. And I was like,
fabulous.
You get to go for free. One of the many perks. I think I'm doing author things on the Saturday, so I'm hoping that I'll do some socialising on Saturday, and then Sunday can be my attendee day. Although Zoe already has said to me, the organizer, that if she needs to come up, she just assumes I'm going to be ready and waiting. Yes, of course I am.
Nice. What are you working on today?
So this is my next year's book, first structural edit with my editor. I'm talking really carefully so I don't ruin anything.
Don't spoil.
I've got stuff to announce. I'm sure I've probably told you, Kirsty, like quietly, but I just don't want to put it on the internet that what's happening. So yeah, I've got a book coming out next year. I am currently editing, and it's been really hard actually. For all everybody told me this book was polished and nearly ready to go, it's still taken me a month of really hardcore editing to kind of rip it to shreds and put it back together. It was things like these two characters need to be brought out a bit more, but they're all the way through the book, so I just need to do that through the whole book
everywhere.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound bad. It's like just amp X and Y character, and I'm like, oh yeah, but they're in it 1,000 times, so do I just amp them? Because I think they got a little bit outshone. I've got one very sassy pants character who I think is just outshining everybody, and I'm like, I think she's a good character, but I just that everybody else has to work a bit harder because she tends to like overpower scenes. I know that happened when I was writing Mina, because Della was quiet. I had to keep remembering, like, let Della speak. Libby and Mina are being mouthy again. She needs to speak too.
But to be fair, that's what sisters are like, aren't they? So, somebody else trying to get a word in with sisters going like this is, I think it's accurate.
Yeah, I know. So I do have to remember that. And I think this character is like Libby and Mina kind of to the nth degree. She's a lot of person. So I just have to remember when other people there, it's like, let them speak, let them shine too. So I'm trying to not take off this character's shine at the same time as adding it to other people, and it's taken a bit of time. Yeah, I think generally that's what I like about characters, like not just fairies, but yeah, if they're absolutely
just like evil.
Yeah, I do. I need a bit of evil in my books. I really do. If there's a rom-com, I'm always
hi, Stephen.
Yes. I hope that you can get everything you want to get out of that day, Sharon. I'm just really glad that you're coming. I'm so looking forward to meeting you. And in fact, I'm going to really try and come to that event in August. It just depends. It's the weekend before school, so I just don't know what's going to be happening in my life. So just when you try to get in the zone of your horror book, there's somebody screaming.
Well, it's atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many words are the Mina books? Can you remember?
Okay, so the first one was 73,000, I think, and I was like, I can write short books. This is fine. And then I wrote the second one, and it was nearly 100,000, and I was like, oh god, I've just overshot this quite a bit. And I think in trimming and rearranging, it came out about 93k, and I think the third one I did the same thing. So yeah, I thought I could write short books, and I just kidded myself because I can't.
Okay.
And then my current one started off 85k, and my editor said it can be 90k, would be a good amount for it to be. It could be 95 at the most, and it's 96 at the minute, so I'm like, I 95 as like a kind of rough estimate. To be fair, all my edits, none of my edits said cut this down and make this more succinct. All of them were like, just add a bit to this, and this. So I've added the bits, and the bits have accumulated. Yeah. So yeah, I think 95k seems to be about 93 to 5 seems to be about my sweet spot for a fairly complex book. How about you?
My draft is 84 at the moment.
Yeah, so I think you're probably golden.
Yeah.
I think my friends who write the kind of scholastic or Osborne type thrillers that are a bit more succinct and brief and like kind of one plot arc rather than having mixed media and stuff, like they tend to be about 70,000, I think.
Yeah.
Like mid to mid 70s. So yeah, I think anywhere, if you're writing anything pacey and thrillery, if you get into 100k, you kind of want to tone it down. That's why I think I was really worried with Mina 3 at one point. I was about midway through. I thought, oh god, this book's gonna be 120,000 words, and somehow I managed to like shape and steer myself a little bit, because I think I was just going a bit. I could have just written about cryptids for like 10,000 words. I think that was my problem. I just want to put all the alien and cryptid stories in there. Like, let me tell you another interesting thing that I know. Nobody else cares.
Oh, I like Sharon's comment. I like big books and I cannot lie.
Oh, I love it when I see that written on stuff, because I sing it to the song lyrics whenever I see that. I'm not going to sing the song for you now.
Right, my food is nearby. I don't know if we want to go to Sprints.
Yeah, I think it's sprint time. I ordered from my licorice again, so I've been shoving these massive. I'm just going to have to show you the size of this licorice. So I ordered these toffee and licorice ovals, and I wasn't sure how big they were going to be. I'm just going to have to show you one. And of course, I can't open the packet now. They're like,
oh crikey!
So to eat one of these,
that's a mouth size,
cheek or mouth size, yeah. So I shoved one in on Sprint earlier, not realizing quite how big they were, and I was like, "Oh." Like this.
Your teeth are glued together.
Yeah, I've forgotten how big the licorice pieces are. Sharon, I recommend this flavour. Sharon and I were talking about salty licorice. It's slightly salty and it's really good.
Oh, okay, well there you go. There's my daughter. Okay, I'll let you start Sprints.
Right. I'm going to remute Kirsty. Sorry, I think Kirsty and I keep simultaneously muting. Right, I'm going to go to Sprints. I'll definitely do another 40 minutes. I can feel myself plugging slightly, but I'll try and do a 30-minute one to wrap us up at the end. So we'll do this 41 and see how we go. See you in a little bit. Hello. Did the
Hello.
did the meow get you? It got me.
It didn't actually this time. It did the first time.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I was just reading the comments at the same time as talking to you. I just get really into it. I'm like, oh, I've got 3 minutes left. I'm just going to read a bit more, and I just got really absorbed. My main character was running for her life, and I was like, oh, actually, this is quite gripping. I've made it more gripping, hooray! But but it gripped me to the point of not being able to concentrate. How did you get on during that sprint?
I mostly ate. I mostly had my food, and then I was just writing down bits in my spreadsheet. So
I think you're doing a really good thing of figuring out in advance what you've got to do, because too many times I've like panicked and plunged in, because generally like a month seems to be what I've had to like edit a book as well, and it's like you can either take that few days to go, okay, what am I going to do, or you can just throw yourself in. And definitely the times when I've figured it out is when I've actually done a good job and not got really confused. So
yeah, well, I'm still working up until next Wednesday, obviously, so I don't want to get stuck in, because then I'll neglect all my other responsibilities. So I thought if I do this, then it kind of it's doing something towards it, but it's not like getting completely engrossed. So
yeah, that's a good idea. I got my edit letter, I think, on a Friday, and then I was meeting with my editor Tuesday to discuss it. So I did the same thing. I was like, I could start editing this over the weekend and go totally down the wrong path, talk to my editor, and then be like, actually, I've done it wrong. So yeah, I think there's such temptation, isn't there, to go. But yeah, just like breathe and
definitely.
And kind of take the month, because I don't think I've ever had like a consecutive month to sit and edit something, like see what it feels like, the kind of really getting stuck into your writing. Like, do you enjoy it? And because I think the more writing time I get, I'm like, actually, yeah, I could do this as a job. Like, if that is something you ever want to do, I don't know. Like, do you see?
No, definitely.
Would that be
that is the dream, but I know it's highly unrealistic for the vast majority of writers. So
it depends. I've got friends who do the jobs on spec, like they've not got a massive book deal and they've just done it and they've done really well out of it. And I've got friends who've done that and not got the book deal. So I'm like, I've seen the two ways that this can go. And like other friends, I'm like, I don't think I can talk about that. No, that hasn't been launched yet. But yeah, I've had friends who've done that and like been okay, and then got a really good deal, and they're like, oh, actually, I did the right thing to leave my job. Like, this was good. So I didn't leave my job. It was like a natural sort of, without going too much into my company's like reorganizing, I was like, actually, this is a perfect time for me to not do my job anymore. So I do the freelance writing is still technically my day job. It's just very flexible. So it's like I can do it one day or not. So yeah, I'm not quite.
I mean, the good thing is I'm self-employed now anyway, so I can be flexible with my time. So that is a benefit. I just need to get better at being more boundaried and protecting some of the writing time, because I'm not so good at that.
You'll find as soon as you get to a point where like you get an agent, if you want to go with it, you kind of have to protect the time, because they'll be like, okay, so I'm going to go and submit in 3 months and you need to do that. And you're like, okay, God, I need writing time. Okay, let's do this. I think when I was still, I'm just trying to think, Mina 2. So I got my book deal when I was pregnant. So I was still working full time. Mina 1, sorry, my first book deal. And then I was writing Mina 2, and I was just having to juggle like editing the first one, writing the second one, and doing all the like getting ready for baby stuff, and you just do it, but it's not sustainable.
No.
So yeah, I think the better your writing goes, like the more people naturally do seem to cut down the day job. And like I know Ravina Garon still does a full. Last time I spoke to her, she still does a full-time job and writes a book a year. A really great book a year, and does lots of events and stuff. But she like enjoys that and likes writing at a weekend and stuff like that, and just feels that writing wouldn't be like, I imagine she's somebody who probably could do its job if she wanted to, but she doesn't want to. So I suppose it's like different for everybody, isn't it? And I think Tomio McKinday is similar. He does a day job as well, but has books that are doing really well and has more coming out and stuff.
It just depends on your life circumstances and things as well, doesn't it? So it's highly individual, and I guess it changes for people as well at different
Yeah, it
points.
does.
So
I mean, going from, I haven't been single for a long time, but when I was single, like, I think I would have felt different to having boyfriend, then husband, and then child. All of a sudden, you start to get these other responsibilities circles going up as well, and like having a young child in school is like a full-time job. I saw a meme about it the other day, like, I'm going to quit my job and just read my kids like newsletters from school. And it's like, yeah, it is a lot. It's like meetings to
yeah.
attend, stuff to buy, things to prepare,
Oh,
homework to do.
it's the app notifications, isn't it,
Yeah,
nowadays?
yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, and
And all the costumes you'll have to make as well.
yeah, and it's just the casual, like, oh, there's a little movers party next week. He needs to be a dinosaur, and you're like, okay, yeah.
Yay.
So yeah, it's interesting, like the way you just naturally you kind of learn to juggle all the things, don't you? You'll get there and figure out what it works for you. I'm still not sure I figured it out for me, but I'm getting there. I don't have a work-life balance right now, but I see it on the horizon, maybe a little bit. So are you going to work in the last sprint? I think, I don't normally in the last one, but I'm kind of enjoying this, so I'm going to lean into it. I've managed to read 65 pages today, so I'm like, if I could read
That's very
10,
good.
20 more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in my squeezing it in. Like, I had an hour at my mum's earlier when my son wanted to go to the park, and my mum's like, oh, I'll take him. And I was like, oh, an hour, let's go.
Free time.
My editing today just has been like that, like squeeze in and the little times, and yeah, it's added up. So I'm going to keep reading. I do need to tidy up a bit because I went and bought a load of school uniform today, and it is just in a pile on my living room floor. So I'm going to go and put uniform in the washing basket as well. Not actually washing, it would be too much work, but
yeah, no, I'm going to carry on with my spreadsheet, and I'm probably going to go and get a drink after my pizza. So,
I think it's like working till 8 and then coming straight on a sprint. It's like, it's a lot. But
I did have a bit of a gap before the 7 o'clock meeting, but you know, yeah, no, it's good.
You're doing a lot. You're doing really well. Like, because I think the golden egg thing is similar to me. Like, Right Mentor, it was the first thing where I felt like I was on the publication path finally, and I was like, oh, this is it. But then once you're on that path, you've got to manage being on it. So you're doing very well. You still seem composed and like you've got it together. So this is good.
No, I mean, I postponed my actually submitting my book for ages because life. So yeah, I actually finished the course quite a while ago, but only just got around to doing it. But I'm glad I did. Yeah, it's a positive step.
At this stage, you can postpone it. Like, you can't say to a publisher, "Hey, I'm just going to postpone you for 6 months." Is that okay? So like, do take the postponing, whatever you can get.
Exactly.
It's never going to happen again.
Exactly.
And I mean, without giving like dates, my next book is quite a while till it comes out, and yet I'm already editing it and on a really tight deadline. And it's like, you know, it will never end. Once you're on the treadmill, you just
it's weird, isn't it? Because publishing is both so slow but also so fast by the sounds of it, in terms of like the tight deadlines, but then it doesn't come out for ages. And I keep having people going, oh, so when will your book come out? I'm like, well, who knows? I've got to get an agent, I've got to get a deal.
Your book could realistically come out in 2026, probably.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said at the earliest 2026.
Yeah, I did Right Mentor the summer of 2018 with Mina and the Undead, and it came out 2020, April 2020. So like just 2 years after, and I did feel like that was the thing that my agent, I think that was what got her interested, that I was on that, and then I met her at Yalk, which got her, you know, really interested. Yeah. So yeah, I think and that was a pretty quick turnaround. Whereas I think some publishers, the anthology Scholastic bought it on Halloween. They put their first offer in, and I think bought it a couple of weeks later.
That's perfect. That is that date, Halloween offer.
I mean, my agent and Mia's agent, it was very clever that they did that on Halloween. But then, it was just like less than a year it came out, so it just depends. Like on Scholastic seem to be able to turn stuff around really fast. Not many publishers do that. But yeah, definitely publishing will be like months of silence, and then all of a sudden at every stage it happens. You
Yeah.
get an offer and suddenly all the other publishers go, oh my God, an offer, go, go, go. And then they all lose book two. And then at the actual working on the book stage, it's like, you know, they might take a few months to read it and then they go, hey, can you turn this around in a couple of weeks? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested in how everybody's getting on with their books. In the chat, there's a couple that I've got on my TBR. Murder Road I got in an Evernight, and I've heard mixed things. So I'm interested, Caroline, how you're getting on with it.
Do you know what? I really enjoyed it. It took me a little bit because the blurb sounds like it's just a supernatural episode, like one of the, I think it might be the first supernatural episode. And I was like, how is this a book? But it actually, for me, the central urban legend does expand out nicely. And I really was interested in the main characters are like newlyweds just trying to go on their honeymoon, and they get kind of pulled into this small town drama. And I really liked that. I don't think I'd read a book about like what it's like to be just married and stuff, and in a horror situation.
In a horror situation, yeah.
It was quite fresh because normally it's like teenagers are on a road trip and they've got held up or whatever, isn't it? Or like they're at uni having one last big blowout. There's similar scenarios, and I liked the fact that I couldn't pin down another book.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this situation, so I kind of could put myself in that. I was like, when I was 24 and I just got married, like if this had happened to me, I would be losing my wits.
Yeah, I can't remember who I saw on Twitter today. It could have been Louis Stowell, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me. But they said, oh, you know, obviously we've got YA and new adult now. Can we have MAA as a middle-aged adult? And it's like it's just dealing with taxes and stuff like that.
Honestly, when people ask you questions, you know, like the question about writing diversely and writing outside your experience, I do think, don't go too far outside your experience, or write about, like, I don't know, like what it's like to be Black, say what it's like to be gay. For me, that would be completely outside my experience.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to write like a middle-aged woman life.
No.
For the rest of my life, because it's just, so I'm always going to be writing outside my experience.
Exactly. We write as escapism as well, don't we? I guess so. Yeah.
Exactly.
So Caroline's enjoying it. She's 90% through, so that's good.
I think me and Caroline have pretty much the same reading taste, so I'm sure there'll be occasions where we don't agree, Caroline. But generally, I think Caroline and I can like recommend books back and forth to each other.
Yeah, well, I'll probably put it on my like autumn TBR and read it around spooky season.
It would be good for that, definitely. I'm really enjoying horror at the minute. I was saying just before you came on, like adult horror seems to be like it's got me back. I had a patch of being a bit burned by adult horror. I'd pick it up and I'd be like, oh cool, a new adult horror, and it's like, oh hey, something bad happens to a kid on page 1, and then like everybody's really sad for the rest of the book. I'm like, no, this is not the vibe I want. And so many adult books I read. It was Stephen King as well. Stephen King really throws in some stuff. Like there was one where it was like something happened to a kid, and I was like, I'm not okay, but I'm going to keep going. And then something happened to an animal, and I was just like, no, please,
no, not anymore. Was it Pet Sematary by any chance?
I mean, no, I've definitely watched the remake of that not long before having Nathan, and I was like, when I was pregnant, that was one of the things I thought, this book is never going to be read by me again. It's been ruined for me. Like, so I found a lot of adult horror like that for a while, but I'm finding fun adult horror again, which is good. Oh, I'm glad. That's cool that it was 99p. I pre-ordered it and ended up paying a bit of a silly price for the hardcover, but I just really wanted it and I did enjoy it. So
and everybody that hasn't already got Amy's second book, it's 99p on Kindle at the moment, isn't it?
It's really weird how that happens on Amazon. I don't know whether my publisher have done that or whether Amazon have it. Occasionally, like I think Meeting of One at one point went down to £3.50. My publisher were like, "Huh, that's not us." Like Amazon just doing
strange.
I think the algorithm sometimes just sees like it looks at what's happening, and sometimes it just does stuff, and the publisher's like, interesting. And I think they can override it, but I'm just happy to let it go and see what happens with that one. So this was
I was a teenage slasher.
New book, which I have on my pile. I'm hoping to read that next month. I'm glad you're loving it, Sharon.
Is it a standalone, or is it part of a series?
I think it's a standalone. Sharon will probably be able to tell me, but I've sort of soft DNF'd to the third Late Witch book. I am going to continue it, but it's so slow paced. I'm like, I'm just not in the mood for that at the moment. Like, because I'm reading so slowly, I need fast-paced stuff. Like, I can't sit and read 200 pages to get somewhere, because that would take me a month probably to read.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think so. I feel like it might be
Sounds
one
like.
of those, like, that he snuck in between. Like, authors do this, like they'll quietly be writing another book and then that gets a deal, so they end up with 2 books coming out at the same time.
Yeah, I was it on one of your chats, I think, that there was a discussion around why that happens in terms of how you get paid, and the fact that actually you need a deal to keep getting the money, and
Honestly, it's
stuff
so
like that.
wild.
Is
And
weird.
it's because I think books have such, like, now my next book comes out, I've hinted, not very soon, into next year. I'm probably going to run 2 more books by the time the next one comes out.
Yeah.
So hopefully those books will have sold by the time my next one comes out. So then they could come out, depending which publisher buys them, they could come out really quickly.
Yeah.
I've got friends who have sort of got deals over the last couple of years and, had a little break in their publishing, and then, like, they kind of come out within a month of each other and stuff. So it's just, publishers, I think they kind of talk to each other because they don't want to, and they talk to you and say, have you got anything complete timeline wise? So I think they try and manage your deadlines. But ultimately you can end up working on 2 books with 2 different publishers at the same time. I was doing that with last plan.
Yeah, and especially if you write across age groups and stuff like that as well, then.
And I think because the anthology was thing a bit different, I ended up, like, kind of editing and writing my story for that and doing at the same time as doing Mina, so it felt the same but different.
Yeah.
It was like managing authors and then jumping on and writing some Mina. I don't remember what Mina book I was working on at the same time. That is all a blur. I was definitely doing it. Okay, let's do half an hour sprint. I am going to do some tidying and reading of my manuscript, so I'll be up and about, and you're spreadsheeting, if that's a word.
Yes, I'm going to go and get a drink and then I will spreadsheet.
Excellent. So I will, I'll meet with both and I'll see you in a little bit.
Fab. Thank you. Bye.
Hello. How did it go?
Yeah, good. I've got all my headings, I think, for now anyway, and all my chapters down the side and all of that sort of stuff. So it's just then reading through and tracking. I should really put a column for tracking fun typos as well.
Oh, you should. I put some real like proper stinkers, and then you forget what they are, don't you? So yeah, maybe save them for posterity. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I had I spotted one which was Solent Scream instead of Silent Scream.
Oh, that's good.
And then in a different project, and on one my friend said they don't think I'll ever beat, I'd put, instead of guarded and somber, I put guarded and sombrero.
That's really good. My favourite one I once picked up at work was breast instead of beast. And bear in mind, it was a primary curriculum company. And I was like, I don't think you meant breast, did you, on that post? And they're like, no, beast. What did? And they're like, oh my god, that nearly went out like to loads of schools. Like, thank you.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh.
So Kev totally derailed me. I sorted some school uniform, I did some reading, and then Kev sent me a WhatsApp link to a For the Love of Fantasy festival. Have you heard of what guests are going to it?
No.
I'm just going to read you the list. So,
okay.
Ian Somerhalder, Paul Wesley,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're a Vampire Diaries fan, basically most of the originals are going, like Joseph Morgan, Kat Graham's going, and then quite a lot of the minor cast. But so the Vampire Diaries, if you're a big fan, 99% of the cast are going. Then Twilight, Taylor Lautner is going.
What?
And Peter Facinelli, I'm really sorry if I probably pronounced that wrong. Kellen Lutz, Ashley Green, Jackson Rathbone, Rachel Lefevre. Like, what is this list of people? I've never heard of this convention before. And then Kev was like, and I'm freaking out at this point, and Kev goes, no, go down the list. Melissa Joan Hart and the two aunties from Sabrina.
Oh my god.
And then the pièce de résistance, James Masters and Juliet Landau and Charisma Carpenter are going. And I was like, so I'm cancelling my plans for that weekend. Oh, and I didn't spot the Gremlins guy is going as well, and Gizmo.
Zach, whatever his name is. Yeah. Where is this? What weekend?
So it's 17th to 18th of August in London at Excel. I've never heard of it. Kev said they've done like For the Love of Horror, and this is the first fantasy one. But I'm just like, I actually had plans that weekend. I'm going to cancel. I'm really sorry people I had plans with, but this is more important. I just priced up my ticket, like what I like, the bare minimum of what I want to do would be 300 quid worth of photos plus £50 entrance fee. So that's the only slight hiccup. Some of them are really expensive. So if you get really excited, like Taylor Lautner's £95 for a photograph.
Right.
But I kind of wanted to anyway because it's Taylor Lautner.
How much was David Boreanaz when you met him?
Not as bad as that, I don't think. Kev, can you remember what I paid for that? I don't think, because I think you sent me the link to it.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You were the first person, and then a couple of others followed you, but not as properly.
Yeah.
You did it, and then I booked it immediately. That was totally worth it. He was great. Like, you got so little time with him. But as I was in the photo queue, I was just staring at him the whole time, like, 12-year-old me would not believe this is happening. Like, literally, it only took me nearly 30 years to meet him. Sobs. It's all fine.
Yeah. I probably won't go. There's the weekend of, my birthday's on the Friday, on the 16th. So it would be a nice birthday present, wouldn't it? But lots of money. Yeah, and I've got lots of editing.
Yeah, you have. It's a lot. But I've never looked at a guest list. And also the guy, Michael from...
That's an amazing guest list.
Michael from Lost Boys was meant to be there, but he cancelled. Tim Curry was meant to be there. And who was the other one? Luke Evans was down and has cancelled. So
well, if Jason Patrick was there, then I might have been persuaded. But as he's cancelled, it's...
I mean, this does suggest that other people could cancel too, but I think there's enough on the list that I'd still be really happy if one or two people cancelled. It would save me some money. So I think tomorrow morning I'm just going to book that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that's what I did in that.
So no editing was done. You just were like, I want this one on this one on this one.
I wrote a wish list. Because at first my wish list was totally different. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get the whole Vampire Diaries cast. And then I went down and I was like, hang on, no, they've just got bumped. Buffy is on the list, like Buffy cast.
Yeah.
I just said to Kev, like, Buffy cast take precedence, and then the others, there's like a hierarchy, I think, of what I can afford.
Have you met either of the James Masters or Juliet Landau before?
I've met James Masters about 7 times, probably.
Yeah, I thought you'd met him a few times.
I've not met Juliet Landau, and I've not met Charisma Carpenter, so that would be epic. I've met Alison Hannigan. I've not met Sarah Michelle Gellar. Again, I would move heaven and earth to meet her. Like, that would be, I think I'd pay quite a lot. And yeah, who else have I met from the Buffy cast? Well, I'm not blanking. I've probably met some other people too, but I can't remember because I'm tired. But yeah, James Masters is of course my fave, and if he's ever at a convention, like I ended up going to a convention in Boston. We were on holiday. We were going to go to Florida, and then I convinced Kev that it needed to be a road trip to Boston because Jason Momoa and James Masters were doing a convention together. And I'd met both of them before, but I was like, but my two favourites are at the same place. So we ended up shaping the whole holiday around this trip to Boston to meet both two again.
Amazing.
Luckily, he's very supportive.
So, is there anybody in that list that Kev would want to meet?
You know what? I said that to him, and he went, no.
Oh.
The only two he's ever wanted, well, several he's really wanted to meet. He's managed to meet Kristen Croy from Smallville. She was number one. He really liked, what's her real name? Melise Zhao, was it? From the Vampire Diaries, who played Anna. Daniel Panabaker, who was in, what was she in? A few things.
Heroes?
Yes. That's probably the main.
Oh, no, that was.
Oh, was she in that?
Or was that was that the sister? Because there's two of them, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it was Kate.
Yeah, they're both beautiful anyway, I can understand. And then there's a couple of other people that over the years that I've been going to one and he's tagged along. Yeah.
She was in something.
Oh yeah, it was The Flash. That was the thing that we've watched recently.
Okay.
But yeah, so Kev's, I think, managed to meet most of his people, but I just have a longer list. And I think a slightly less discerning list. Like, Kev's just got a list of crushes, and I just, like Melissa Joan Hart, I just love her. Like, from being a very young child, I've been watching stuff that she was in.
I saw an advert she must have been in. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what the advert was for, but it was her meeting Salem as an adult in a cafe, and then she was like, magic, and like there was all like magic effects, and then you suddenly just see her standing on a chair just going magic, and everybody in the cafe going, she's lost it, she thinks she's really got magic. It was quite funny. I'll have to see if I can. Yeah, I think it maybe was on like Facebook, so it might be like on my activity because I probably liked it. So if I find it, I'll tag you.
That would make me happy. Yeah, I mean, I loved. Callisto explains it all to some extent, but it was mainly Sabrina's Teenage Witch for me. It was just like my early exposure to witches, I think. Yeah, I just went really hype. You're meant to calm down when it gets to bedtime, aren't you? And I just I just went really hyper at bedtime, so that's bad. I'm gonna be laid there in bed now, buzzing, like thinking I've got to book tickets tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, my sister just tried to phone me, so I did miss a little bit of what you said then.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just like, you're meant to chill out at bedtime, aren't you? And I was just buzzing.
Yeah. And then you're just now, I can't wait.
I know, I'm really excited. I just hope I can actually get tickets now. Like, I'm going to go on and it's all going to be sold out, aren't I? But if I can get, like, Juliet Landau would probably be the top one that I've not met and would love to meet her.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the others would just be nice. Like, I could just have Jason Masters. We're both just getting older, all the pictures. It's probably really sad. Like, if I flick through that, I'm like, I think I met him when I was 19 first. So I probably look quite different. As does he, to be fair. So
yeah,
aging together, see each other every few years. I don't even know whether he's
Is he like, oh hi Amy?
At one point he did start recognizing me because there was a patch where I think I went to quite a few, but it's been years since I've been to one. Like, he has done stuff, but if it's only him there, I try not to go because I'm like, I can't pay hundreds of pounds to get to this place to meet someone I've already met.
Have you seen him since he did your cameo that Kev got you?
No, I don't think so, actually. Probably not.
I think you should take one of your books for him.
Do you know what? I probably should do that. Like, and just say, all my vampires are inspired by you. Here you go. I'm just going to In fact, I did. He wrote a comic, like a Spike comic, and I got him to sign that. That was quite a weird experience.
Okay.
Like when that just come out, and he was like, he was quite touched. I think that people were bothering to buy it. Like, of course you are Spike, and you've written a Spike comic. Like, of course I'm going to buy it. So yeah, maybe I will. That would be really embarrassing, but I think I might just pluck up the courage and do it. Anyway.
Just do it. Just do it.
Like, you've honestly, I've come to realize that you've just got to do stuff like that, because what is the harm? Like,
you do it, and then you can have like him as quotes. Because do you know Ian Eagleton?
Oh
who
yeah,
wrote Glitter Boy?
yeah.
And then he got like a comment from Mariah Carey on Twitter that said you're inspirational, and he's using it in his like advertising now, which I think is fabulous. So yeah, James Masters could go, ooh, vampires based on me. James Masters.
Honestly,
that would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I just because people have given me their book and stuff now, like, so I think it's come full circle, and I don't mind being given people's books. I'm quite happy to accept books. So
yeah.
I don't think I would be offended there for it kind of thing. I always do that. Like, is this going to be? Would this be weird if someone did it to me? I'm like, maybe a little, but I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, not like at maximum weird. It's like a little weird, so I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I've done it to other authors, like I've said, like we've been chatting and they've gone, that sounds good. And I'm like, do you want a copy of it? Because I always have like lots just knocking around. Like when I go to these events, I take stuff just in case. Because you normally start looking to some person who wants to read it. So it's like, hey, here you go. That's how I've managed to like get it in front of some cool people. So, you know. Okay, I think it's time to go to bed and like decompress, because I've just got myself a little hyped up. But thank you for coming on. Thank you, people in the comments.
Thank
I think
you.
Most people have like gone to sleep now, probably. But it's lovely. It was really productive until I just fell off the wagon a little bit at the end. But I think
that's allowed.
Justifiable. Like Vampire Diaries and Twilight and Buffy, like my head just exploded for a minute. It's like 3 of my top tier fandoms, and having to choose between them is a bit heart wrenching.
Yeah,
I could literally like just meet all of them and be really happy, but it would cost thousands of pounds.
Yeah, that's the problem with these things.
Yeah. And like I've got to be sensible. So I think out of the Twilight ones, like Taylor Lautner and Carlisle would be the ones.
Yeah, Taylor Lautner for sure.
Yeah.
I'm totally Team Jacob.
I wasn't at the time. I was Team Edward from the books. Like the books spill over, because I'm Team Vampire, obviously. But I then watched, was it Cuckoo that Taylor Lautner was in? And I got really confused, because I was like, hang on. He's really hot. I need to like reassess everything I thought, because I think I just dismissed him because he's a werewolf and vampires, werewolves. So maybe I shouldn't have this whole monologue as I meet him. Like, I did dismiss you because you were a werewolf, but then you were like a British comedy and you were cool. So,
I've not seen that one.
it's pretty good, actually. He wasn't in. So I nearly said Andy Serkis. I'm really tired. The guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is in the first season of it.
Andy
Samberg, is that?
Samberg, yeah.
And then Taylor Lautner. So weirdly, it's like a British cast, and it's quite funny, and you know, it's just like a good family comedy type thing. And yeah, they get a random American in the 2 seasons I saw, who are both very funny, excellent Americans to have. So you know.
Oh, what? So they're each in a different series as a random American.
I don't really remember why. Like, I think they were both love interests of different people or something.
Okay.
But yeah, it made me reassess Taylor Lautner. And I thought, you know, he was good in Twilight and stuff, but yeah. So I'm going to try and hopefully I'll let you know if I manage to get it booked tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, well, thank you, Kirsty. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to head and go to sleep. I'll hopefully
Good night,
see you
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.